It's another day on the field. The project work continues, and we are hopeful that someday we'll get to the next milestone, which is Nigeria that works for everybody. As Nigerians, we have chosen democracy as our way of governance. And you can't talk about democracy without opposition. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Are you opposing me this morning?
It depends
Or you're supporting me?
where you're coming from, but I think I agree with you. There's no democracy without opposition.
Yes.
So there's no opposition in that direction.
Oh, okay. So, Piki, recently there has been news all over the space about El-Rufai's visit and others, Shehu and co, to SDP's National Secretariat. Okay, and a lot of things are also coming out of the place. We had from his interview, which is the national chairman of SDP, Shehu Gabam, saying his security details has been withdrawn in the past 2 weeks. Okay, is it normal? Is it that the Nigerian security forces do not have sufficient personnel to man certain places, and to the extent that a national party leader, a national leader of a party cannot have his details? What could be, or is the gagging of opposition that everybody is becoming scared of?
I first of all want to ask someone like Obi Kubana how many security details he has.
Maybe his own has been withdrawn, we don't know.
No. At least I saw him recently. His own is not withdrawn. Not only him, and all the one that's all over town everywhere, that people have security details. You can pay for it. It's something you can pay for.
When it's available.
When it's available,
Yeah.
they'll give you. But he had already.
Yes.
And all of a sudden it was withdrawn. Why? The news has been in town in recent, especially towards the end of last year to this year, that El-Rufai has been making some visits.
Yeah.
There were some that even said that El-Rufai has gone back to PDP. Then the video started emanating that El-Rufai said, I'd rather die than go back to PDP. I don't know if you saw that video. Then now, he has been there SDP before. This is not his first time.
So, Philip, how did we get to this point where Nigerians spent so much to fight for democracy? We did almost anything we could do to the military so that they could leave us alone to govern ourselves. And here we are, even one of us, just that a party wins election, they become quickly more terrible than the military. How did we get to this point?
Well, that is what is before us today. The national chairman of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, the person of Alhaji Shehu Gabam, in his statement yesterday in channel television Politics Today, he did said that he was surprised that Tinubu, one of the product of democracy, one of the fighter for democracy,
the struggle,
the man who became a senator under SDP. And then in course of fighting for democracy and the freedom of right, went on exile.
Yes.
Came back, stood for election, won election, gathered men and women of intelligence and transformed Lagos State. The man, while was a governor, was opposition to the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he was deprived of the money meant for the local government in Lagos State for the 8 years he was in power, and everybody hated him. Now he's the same person, apostle of democracy, apostle of activism, apostle of protest. Is the same person that is being everywhere. It's not gagging the opposition. El-Rufai, Gabam, the national chairman of the SDP, is entitled, it is his right to have details. And that's what he has. These details were withdrawn for no just cause.
You know, let's talk about the freedom enjoyed by our current president, Asiwaju. You know, each time we talk about Obasanjo, we told this morning, everybody took side with Tinubu. Nobody tried to remember rather that Tinubu did something that the federal government did not think was right, which was creation of local government.
Certainly.
Tinubu, as a governor, created more local governments and named them. So that was why Obasanjo said, no, if you have your own different local government from what we have in our constitution, we are not going to send you this money. And yet, everybody took side with Tinubu and said, oh, you should have sent the money to the people, to the state. That the state will now know how to take care of it. If you could enjoy at that much, how come ordinary visits, this and that, Nigerians fraternize? They will even fraternize, whether politically or friendly manner or whatever. Nigerians will meet. They will meet and greet, and they will discuss. And they will form alliance for election for 2027. It's going to come. Why is he not expecting it?
They said...
no, let me... I'm talking to...
They said power corrupts, and absolute power corrupt absolutely. He's at the helm of affairs.
But we don't have absolute power. It shouldn't be absolute. That's why...
Okay, so...
We have 3 arms of government.
So what the 3 arms that we have right now, how have they played their independent role? The National Assembly is under his armpit. The judiciary, the same thing. So how does it not have absolute power? No, tell me. I mean, it's what we see and hear and we feel everything. We're in this country. We are not just hearing. We are not in America seeing it. He chooses who becomes the CJN. He chooses who becomes the speaker. He chooses who becomes the Senate president. I mean, you could see Ojuzo Kalu crying. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't just say, let's go to the polls. I mean, they held the whole National Assembly to the jugular. And you saw what happened. Anything he passes now. National Anthem, want to change it. In 2 days, changed. Is that how National Assembly operates? If not for the strong cry of regional politics, the tax bill would have just gone. And he says it's a done deal already. That doesn't talk like someone that believes in democracy.
How do we preserve the opposition? Because we must conserve this opposition.
The opposition must keep on going.
So how do we conserve this opposition?
You when you were talking with
Kingsley,
you said, why is meeting and aligning and create a problem?
It shouldn't.
President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, the APC that is in power today, is a product of this kind of alliance.
Yes.
Because in 2012, 2013, 2015, that eventually became 2015, Ahmed Bola Tinubu of the ACN, Buhari of the CPC, Amechi, Bukola Saraki, and the rest of them who became the new PDP. And all of these people, then Okorocha of the APGA, they met and they felt that the way the PDP is going was not right.
Even the El-Rufai of PDP.
Of PDP, they had several meetings. And then it crystallized into APC. And then they formed a formidable opposition. Nobody, Jonathan didn't do anything to gag the city president.
There was no one ever arrested.
No one was ever arrested. Even Tinubu had a case with the EFCC or EFCPC. Good luck allowed the case to rest. So that
code of conduct.
Yeah, code of conduct. So that
even with EFCC.
Yeah. So it would look as if he's gagging the opposition.
Yes.
But this is just mere visit. You withdraw the details. El-Rufai cannot longer breathe. This whole Buhari in the Kaduna state government that so much money was spent during his government, and the Kaduna state governor is being used to withdraw El-Rufai just because he disagrees with you. I mean, we like he said, how do we get here? That's the question. How do we get here? And how do we get out of this place?
Yeah.
I think how we get out of here is that the opposition should not be relent. Like you said before, and Farouk also said, the slave master will not let the slave
know.
It is the slave who will think out for himself.
And say, I must break out.
Whether he dies or not, he should be in the process of getting his freedom.
That's right.
If he wait for his slave master to set him free, no way.
Slavery is his business. He doesn't want to go out of business.
I know it was said that even Democrats are even worse than autocrats by the time they have power. And that's why he was trying to quote power corrupt, absolutely. When the so-called Democrat gets into office, you see their true picture.
Now, election is coming.
Yes.
There's nothing that is going to change.
Which of the election?
2027.
That is still far from it.
No, it's not far. You know, Gabam was saying that when people complain starting earlier than 2 years into your government that you are unlikely to be returned.
He's looking
He
at
cited
what exactly what has played over the time.
Yes, he cited the example that of Jonathan.
Yeah.
Even while we all agree that Jonathan is one of the best presidents I've ever had.
Yes.
You know, he cited that because people started getting angry, you know, they look back today and say, oh, I wish we didn't.
Yeah.
That Tinubu is unlikely to be re-elected. Do you share that idea?
No. Because our democratic structures are not in place. We talked about political reforms the other day on a voting arena, and we said until this constitution, right, and the reforms comes in, we will see that this.
No,
things
but
will
the
play
reforms
out.
might come in. For example, the person we had on program
Voting
was
Arena.
talking about on voting arena was talking about all election being held the same day.
Not just only that.
Yes.
Constitutionally,
Yes.
right, we see that the vote that people cast
Yes.
is not counted.
Yeah, but
Because
it
the
was
umpire-
also saying that if all the elections were held the same day,
Yes.
you know, developing muscle to gag
So
all
we
this
cannot
is-
get that all that done within these
So
2
Philip,
years.
what do you think?
I think I don't want to share his idea that it's just going to be a free ride for.
No, it's not going to be a
for
free ride.
Tinubu, because this is Nigeria,
Yes,
and Nigeria is a dynamic country.
yes.
You know, it is not true that when people started complaining 2 years to your government, you are not likely to return. But it's also true that when this complaint gets to you and you don't do anything about it, then the prophet of doom will work for you against you.
Because at the end of the
Yes,
day,
because
re-election, people have to look at your
Yes,
scorecard.
But we also have to-
what the national chairman of SDP was saying, that Tinubu has apple of time. I will said it here before, that opposition is an expo given to the government. That's what he said. If Tinubu will listen to the opposition and put things right, then it's likely to come back.
People just want good governance.
But the truth is that every political power wants power.
So
Political party wants
so
power.
Eventually, if there is a turnaround in the way things are going, the chances of the president being re-elected gets higher.
Does
And,
it-
that's if they will be turned around.
Yes.
Because the way they are going, they are very arrogant about their
But
policy.
we can't be too sure. The future is a mystery to anybody.
that one is leave it for God.
Yes.
Like
I think I'll also tell you to leave it for God, because there is no more time for us. So when we come back, we'll continue to discuss this matter. Until then, this is News Insight.